Adam's shoe hit Daniela's side with a hard thud. She cried out and fell onto the interlocking tiles outside the supermarket entrance. The shopping bag in her hand slipped and rolled, and a few oranges bounced out like tiny yellow balls. For one full second, the whole place went silent. Then Adam shouted, loud enough for everyone to hear, "You this bad luck!" He barked, his face tight with anger. "What are you doing here again? How did they even allow you to enter a supermarket like this?" Daniela lay on the ground, breathing fast. Her eyes were wide. Not because of the pain alone, because Adam's voice dragged her back to a past she tried to bury. A woman near the entrance covered her mouth. A man holding a shopping basket whispered, "Ah, did he just kick her?" People stopped walking. Phones came out. The security camera above the glass door blinked quietly, like it was watching everything without blinking. Adam stood over Daniela, chest rising and falling. He looked proud, like he had just won something. Daniela's hands shook as she pushed herself up a little, her palms scraping the tiles. Her hair was simple and neat. Her clothes looked plain, like someone who did not want attention, but her eyes looked like a woman who had survived storms. Adam pointed at her as if she was dirt. "Anywhere you go, trouble follows," he spat. "You ruined my life before. You think you can come back and start bringing your bad luck again?" Daniela swallowed. Her throat felt tight. "Adam," she said softly, like saying his name could calm the fire. But Adam did not calm down. He lifted his leg again, like he wanted to kick her a second time. That was when the manager stormed out. He came fast, like he had been shot out of the building. His suit was crisp. His ID tag swung on his chest. His eyes were full of panic and anger. "Stop!" the manager shouted. 3 security guards rushed out, too big, men in dark uniforms, strong hands, hard eyes. "Hold him!" the manager yelled. Before Adam could even understand what was happening, the security guards grabbed his arms. "What is this?" Adam shouted, struggling. "Are you people mad? Leave me." The manager's voice shook, not with fear, but with respect, like someone had touched something sacred. "Sir," he said to Adam, "do you know who you just kicked?" Adam laughed, loud and proud. "This one?" he scoffed, turning his head toward Daniela as if she was nothing. "She's my ex-wife. You people can't tell me how to treat her." That statement made the crowd murmur again. "Ex-wife?" someone whispered. "So he married her before?" another person asked. Daniela stayed quiet. She did not cry loudly. She did not scream. She held her side and slowly sat up, her eyes down, her breathing controlled. The manager looked like he wanted to collapse. "Your ex-wife?" he repeated, like the words did not make sense. "Do you even know her?" Adam's eyes narrowed. "Of course I know her. Daniela. The bad luck that followed me for years." The manager took a step closer, his voice dropping low, deadly serious. "That Daniela you kicked," he said, "is the owner of this supermarket." Adam froze. For the first time, the arrogance on his face cracked. "What nonsense are you saying?" Adam snapped. "Owner?" The manager pointed at the giant sign above the entrance. "All-time supermarket." Then he pointed to Daniela again, his voice shaking. "She is the new billionaire CEO. The person who owns this entire place. The person who bought the whole chain, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, everything." The crowd gasped like one body. "No way." "Ah, so she's the CEO. That woman on the ground?" Phones rose higher. Adam's mouth opened, but nothing came out. He looked at Daniela again, as if seeing her for the first time. Daniela's face was calm, but her eyes looked wet. Not because she was weak, because memories were painful. Adam forced a laugh. "You're lying. Daniela cannot own anything like this." The manager's face hardened. "Do you think I am joking?" One security guard leaned close to Adam and hissed, "You don't enter trouble today." Adam tried to pull free again. "Leave me, she's still my wife." "Ex-wife," the manager corrected sharply. "And you just assaulted her on company property, in front of witnesses, under CCTV. Adam looked around. That was when he noticed the cameras. The people recording, the workers staring, the shoppers whispering. His throat went dry. Daniela finally lifted her head and met his eyes, and in her gaze, Adam saw something he did not expect. Not revenge, not pride, just sadness, like she was looking at someone who once held her heart and then crushed it. Adam's voice dropped. Daniela, is it true? She did not answer quickly, because the truth was bigger than one sentence. The manager turned to the guards. Call the police. Now. Adam jerked. Police? For what? I didn't kill anybody. The manager's eyes flashed. You kicked the CEO of this company to the ground. You humiliated her. That is assault. That is violence. Adam's face twisted. CEO or not, she's my ex-wife. She caused me pain. I can do what I like. The crowd became louder. Did you hear him? So because she's his ex-wife, he can beat her. That's wicked. Daniela's fingers tightened on the tiles. She pushed herself up slowly, wincing. A young female staff member rushed forward with a small stool. Madam, please sit, the girl whispered with shaking hands. Daniela sat, her breathing steady now. She looked at the staff member gently and nodded like she was saying, Thank you. I'm okay. Adam watched, confused. The Daniela he remembered used to cry easily, used to beg, used to apologize even when she did nothing wrong. This Daniela was different. Her posture was quiet but strong. Her face had peace, like someone who had already cried all her tears long ago. The police siren sounded in the distance. It grew louder, closer. Adam's eyes widened. No, he muttered. No, no, no. 2 police officers stepped out of a patrol van. Their boots hit the ground with a heavy rhythm. People parted like water. The manager walked straight to them. Officers, he said quickly, this man assaulted our CEO. The officers looked at Daniela, then looked at Adam. One officer asked, Madam, is it true? Daniela did not shout. She did not point. She just nodded once. Yes, she said softly. He kicked me. That was all. But it was enough. The officer turned to Adam. Ogre, you are under arrest. Adam's eyes widened in shock. Arrest? For kicking my ex-wife? This is madness. The officer pulled out handcuffs. Turn around. Adam's voice became desperate. Daniela, tell them it's a misunderstanding. Daniela stared at him. Her lips parted slightly as if she wanted to speak, but before she could, something happened that made her eyes change again. A black luxury SUV drove into the parking area, slow and smooth. Then another, and another. 3 SUVs, the kind of convoy people in Lagos whisper about. The crowd turned, the doors opened, and men stepped out, tall, serious-looking men in suits with earpieces. Private security, not supermarket security, VIP security. One of them walked straight to Daniela and bowed slightly. Madam, he said respectfully, we are here. The whole place shook with whispers. Ah, she's really somebody. See, convoy. Adam's knees almost gave way, because in that moment he understood something that hit him like thunder. The woman he kicked was not just rich. She was powerful, and the world was watching. The officer snapped the handcuffs around Adam's wrists. Click. Adam flinched like the sound cut through his pride. Then he looked at Daniela again, really looked, and suddenly his face changed from anger to fear. Daniela, he whispered, his voice cracking. Please. Daniela stood slowly, holding her side. She walked closer, one small step at a time, until she was in front of him. Adam's eyes filled with tears that came too late. Please, he begged again. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Daniela's voice came out calm, but heavy. You didn't know, she repeated softly. Then she leaned in just a little and said something that made Adam's heart drop straight into his stomach. You kicked me the same way you kicked my life out of your house that night. If you chose. Adam's mouth trembled. What? What are you talking about? Daniela's eyes flashed with memory, and the crowd leaned closer, because everyone could tell. There was a deep story behind this, a story of pain, a story of abandonment, a story Adam thought was buried forever. Daniela looked at the officer and said quietly, Take him. Adam cried out as the police pulled him toward the van. Daniela, please, please. But Daniela did not move to stop them. She only stood there, surrounded by her staff and security, her face strong but her eyes shining with held-back tears. And as Adam was dragged away, handcuffed, screaming for mercy, the manager turned to the crowd and asked the question that would soon shake Lagos. Do you people know what this man did to her before today? Daniela closed her eyes for 1 second. Then she opened them, and the way she looked up, like someone ready to face the past, made the crowd go silent again, because whatever Adam did to her before was about to be revealed. And it would shock everyone. The police van drove away with Adam inside, still shouting Daniella's name as if the sound alone could save him. Daniela stood where he left her, her legs weak, her heart heavy. The noise of the crowd slowly faded as security pushed people back inside the supermarket. Phones lowered, whispers followed her like shadows. The manager turned to her gently. "Madam, are you okay?" Daniela nodded, even though pain still burned in her side. "I'm fine," she said quietly, but she was not fine. Not really, because Adam's kick did more than hurt her body. It ripped open a door she had kept closed for years. As she was helped into one of the black SUVs, Daniela's mind drifted backward, far away from the bright lights of all-time supermarket, far away from power and money, back to a small one-room apartment that smelled of kerosene and disappointment. That was where her story with Adam began. Years earlier, Daniela had been a different woman. She was gentle, soft-spoken, always smiling, even when life gave her reasons to cry. Adam met her when both of them had nothing. He was loud, confident, and full of big dreams. Daniela believed in those dreams more than he did. When Adam lost his job, Daniela sold her phone to help them eat. When rent was due, she borrowed money from neighbors and paid it quietly. When Adam shouted at her in frustration, she apologized even when she did nothing wrong. "Things will get better," she always said. But Adam did not like patience. He liked fast success, loud success, success people could see. And when success did not come quickly, he needed someone to blame. That someone became Daniela. "You bring bad luck," Adam said one night, pacing the room like a trapped animal. "Ever since I married you, nothing works." Daniela froze. "Adam, that's not true." "It is," he shouted. "Other men are moving forward. I'm stuck." She tried to touch his arm. He pulled away. "Maybe it's just a hard season," she said softly. "We'll pass it together." Adam laughed bitterly. "Together? You don't even have connections. You don't have money. You don't have anything." The words cut deeper than any slap. But Daniela stayed. She stayed when neighbors whispered. She stayed when Adam started coming home late. She stayed when he stopped looking at her with love. Until one night, Adam came home angry, drunk, and cruel. "You're leaving this house tonight," he said coldly. Daniela stared at him. "What?" "I said get out," he shouted. "I'm tired of carrying your bad luck." She begged. She cried. She knelt, but Adam pushed her small bag toward her and opened the door. "Go," he said. "If you truly love me, leave and free my destiny." That was the night Daniela's heart broke. She walked out with nothing but a bag and shame. Adam did not look back. Back in the present, Daniela opened her eyes as the SUV stopped at her office building. Tall glass walls, quiet power, security everywhere. This was the life Adam never knew she built. Inside her private office, Daniela sat down slowly. Her assistant rushed to her side. "Madam, the doctors are on the way," the assistant said. Daniela shook her head. "I'm fine. Just give me a moment." She looked out the window at the city below. Lagos, the same city that swallowed her when she was weak, the same city that watched her rise quietly. After Adam threw her out, Daniela slept on a friend's floor. She worked as a cleaner. She saved every small coin. One day, she met an old woman at the place she cleaned. The woman was sick, tired, and alone. Daniela helped her, not knowing that old woman was a powerful investor who lived quietly. When the woman died months later, she left Daniela a letter and a chance. Daniela used that chance wisely. She learned, she grew, she built, and today she owned the biggest supermarket chain in Lagos, not with noise, with discipline, with pain, with patience. Meanwhile, at the police station, Adam sat in a cold cell. His head was pounding. His pride was gone. The words, "Billionaire CEO," replayed in his head again and again. How? He whispered to himself. How did Daniela become this? The officer outside the cell looked at him with no pity. "You beat a woman in public," the officer said. "A powerful woman." Adam's voice broke. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." The officer shook his head. Ignorance is not an excuse. Adam slid down the wall and sat on the floor. For the first time, memories came back, not as anger, but as guilt. Daniella's tears, her patience, her loyalty. He covered his face and cried. The next morning, news exploded across Lagos. Man arrested for assaulting billionaire supermarket owner. Ex-husband kicks new CEO in public. Domestic abuse case shocks city. Adam's name and face were everywhere. At Daniella's office, lawyers filled the room. This case is strong, one lawyer said. CCTV, witnesses, medical report, past abuse. Daniella listened quietly. What do you want to do, madam? Another asked. Daniella thought of the kick. The insult. The past. Proceed, she said calmly. Across town, Adam's sister Dorcas watched the news with shaking hands. Adam, she whispered. Fear filled her heart, because she knew something Adam did not know yet. Something that would make this worse, much worse. That evening, Adam was brought before a judge for a preliminary hearing. The courtroom was full. When Daniella walked in, the room went silent. She looked calm, powerful, untouchable. Adam looked up and saw her, and in that moment, something inside him broke completely. He fell to his knees. I'm sorry, he cried loudly. Daniella, please forgive me. Gasps filled the courtroom. Daniella stopped walking. She looked at him. The judge frowned. Control yourself. Adam cried harder. I didn't know she would become this. I swear I didn't know. Daniella's heart thumped painfully, because Adam still didn't get it. He still thought the problem was her success, not his cruelty. She turned to the judge and spoke clearly. Your Honor, I am not here because I am rich. I am here because he abused me before and now. The judge nodded slowly. Adam looked up, tears streaming, and then the prosecutor stood up and said words that made Adam's blood run cold. Your Honor, we also have evidence of past domestic abuse, dating back years. Adam's eyes widened in terror, because the past he thought was buried, was about to rise, and this time it would not let him go. Adam did not sleep that night. The thin mattress in the police cell felt like hard stone. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Daniella on the ground. He heard the sound again, the dull thud of his shoe against her body. He heard the gasps, the phone's recording, the siren. And worst of all, he heard her voice. You kicked me the same way you kicked my life out of your house. He sat up suddenly, sweat covering his face. For the first time in his life, Adam was afraid of tomorrow. The courtroom was packed the next morning. Journalists filled the back rows. Lawyers sat with files stacked high. Police officers stood by the walls. This was no longer just a family matter. It was now a public case. When Adam was brought in, handcuffed, heads turned, cameras flashed, he lowered his eyes in shame. On the other side of the room, Daniella sat calmly with her legal team. She wore a simple navy suit, no jewelry, no makeup that screamed wealth. Yet everything about her said power. Adam stole glances at her, hoping, begging to see softness, mercy. But Daniella's face was steady. The judge entered. Court is now in session. Everyone stood. Adam's heart hammered as the charges were read aloud. Assault, domestic violence, betrayal of trust, public humiliation. Each word felt like a hammer striking his chest. The prosecutor stepped forward. Your Honor, she began, this is not an isolated incident. This is a pattern. Adam's stomach twisted. Screens were brought out. CCTV footage played. The kick. The fall. The insults. The courtroom gasped again, even though many had already seen it online. Then the prosecutor spoke again. We also call a witness. A woman stood up from the back row. Adam froze. It was Dorcas, his sister. She looked smaller than he remembered. Her eyes were tired. Her hands shook as she took the oath. Adam whispered, Dorcas. She did not look at him. The prosecutor asked gently, Dorcas, did you know Daniella when she was married to your brother? Dorcas swallowed. Yes. Did you ever witness abuse? Silence filled the room. Adam's heart beat so loudly he thought everyone could hear it. Dorcas closed her eyes. Yes, she said. Adam's head snapped up. What? He whispered. Dorcas's voice trembled but did not break. I saw him shout at her. I saw him push her. I saw her cry at night. Gasps filled the room. Adam shook his head violently. She's lying. Dorcas finally looked at him. Tears filled her eyes. You told me she was bad luck, Dorcas said softly. You told me she was the reason you were failing. Her voice hardened. But you were the problem, Adam. Not her. Adam's mouth opened, but no words came out. The prosecutor nodded slowly. Thank you. Dorcas stepped down, her shoulders heavy. Adam felt something collapse inside him. The judge looked at Adam with tired eyes. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Adam stood shakily. I was angry, he said weakly. Life was hard. I didn't mean to. The judge raised a hand. Anger does not excuse violence. Adam turned toward Daniela, desperation flooding his face. Daniela, please, he cried. I'm sorry. I was blind. I was foolish. Please forgive me. The room held its breath. Daniela stood up slowly. Every eye followed her. She walked forward, not too close, not too far. Your Honor, she said calmly. For years, I forgave him in silence. I forgave insults. I forgave hunger. I forgave being thrown out like trash. Her voice shook for just 1 second, but forgiveness without justice only teaches an abuser to continue. Adam collapsed into his seat, sobbing. The judge nodded. After a long pause, he spoke. Adam, for your crimes, this court sentences you to 5 years imprisonment. The words fell like thunder. 5 years. Adam screamed. No, please, please. Police officers grabbed him as he fell to his knees. Daniela, he cried. Please, I will change. Tears streamed down his face. But the sentence stood. As Adam was dragged away, Daniela closed her eyes briefly. Her hands trembled, because even though justice was served, her heart still hurt. Prison was nothing like Adam imagined. The walls were cold, the food was rough, the nights were long. For the first time, nobody feared him. Nobody listened to his anger. He scrubbed floors. He waited in lines. He followed orders. The man who once felt powerful was now nothing. At night, Adam wrote letters. Letter after letter. Daniela, I am sorry. Daniela, I understand now. Daniela, please forgive me. He never got a reply. 2 years passed. Prison aged him. His shoulders dropped. His pride died. One afternoon, a guard called his name. You have a visitor. Adam's heart jumped. He rushed into the small visiting room and froze. Daniela stood there, alive, strong, calm. Adam broke down instantly. I'm sorry, he cried. I know now. I know what I lost. Daniela looked at him quietly. I came, she said. Not because you begged, but because I saw change. Adam wiped his tears. Please, I will do anything. Daniela nodded slowly. I will withdraw the case, she said, but only after you serve 2 years. Adam's breath caught. Thank you, he whispered. But as Daniela turned to leave, she paused and said something that made Adam's chest tighten again. Forgiveness does not mean restoration. Adam frowned. What do you mean? Daniela looked back at him. You will leave prison free, she said, but you will not return to my life. Then she walked away. Adam stood frozen, because in that moment he realized something painful. Forgiveness had come, but the door was closed forever, and he had no idea that another shock was waiting for him outside prison walls, one that would crush what little hope he had left. The prison gate opened with a loud metal sound. Adam stepped out slowly, holding a small nylon bag that carried everything he owned in the world. 2 shirts, 1 worn trouser, a pair of old slippers. That was all. The sun was bright, but it did not warm his heart. He stood there for a moment, breathing in free air, expecting to feel happy. But instead, his chest felt heavy. 2 years in prison had changed him. His shoulders were bent, his eyes were dull. The loud man who once kicked a woman in public was gone. A prison officer looked at him and said, You're free. Don't come back here again. Adam nodded. Thank you, he whispered. No one was waiting for him. No friends. No family. No sister. He walked to the road and entered a bus, sitting quietly at the back, like he was afraid of being seen. As the bus moved through Lagos, Adam stared through the window. The city looked the same, but he felt like a stranger inside it. Adam returned to the place he once called home, or what was left of it. The building was old and tired. Paint peeled from the walls. The smell of damp air filled the hallway. He knocked on the door of his former apartment. A man opened it. Yes? The man asked. I used to live here, Adam said softly. The man frowned. That was 2 years ago. Your sister sold everything. Adam's heart skipped. Sold? Everything? The man nodded. She cleared the house. Furniture, TV, fridge, everything, said she needed to survive. Adam thanked him and stepped away slowly. Outside he sat on the low steps, his head in his hands. Dorcas had sold everything. He had nothing left. That night, Adam found a tiny one-room place at the edge of the city. The mattress was thin, the walls were bare. A small old television sat on a wooden stool. He lay on the mattress, staring at the ceiling. This was his life now. The next morning, Adam went out looking for work. He begged. He explained. He promised to work hard, but everywhere he went, people recognized him. "You're that man from the news, the one that beat the billionaire woman. Go away." Doors closed in his face. By evening, his feet ached and his stomach was empty. He returned to his small room and switched on the television. And froze. The screen showed a beautiful hall filled with flowers and light. Soft music played. The news anchor smiled. "Breaking news," she said. "Billionaire supermarket CEO Daniela is set to marry tech entrepreneur Johnson tomorrow in a grand ceremony." Adam dropped onto the mattress. His heart shattered. Marry? Tomorrow? He stared at the screen, unable to breathe. Daniela appeared on TV, glowing, calm, happy. Beside her stood Johnson, a tall man with gentle eyes and a steady smile. Adam felt tears burn his eyes. So this was it. This was what he lost. He remembered Daniela kneeling before him years ago, begging him not to throw her out. And now she was standing tall, choosing a man who respected her. Adam cried that night until sleep took him. The next day, dressed in his cleanest shirt, Adam went to the wedding hall. He stood at the back, far from the front, far from Daniela. The hall was beautiful. Gold decorations, soft lights, music that touched the heart. Guests laughed, cameras flashed. When Daniela walked in, the whole hall stood. She looked radiant, not loud, not proud, just peaceful. Adam covered his mouth to stop himself from crying out. Johnson held her hand gently, like something precious. Adam's tears flowed freely. Nobody noticed him. Nobody cared. He was just another man at the back. When the couple exchanged vows, Adam whispered them with them, like a ghost trapped in the past. "I lost you," he said quietly. "I lost you." That night, Adam returned to his small room. He sat on the thin mattress, staring at the blank wall. From that day on, his life followed the same sad pattern. He woke up. He struggled. He returned home. And sometimes he watched the news. Every time Daniela and Johnson appeared on television, opening new businesses, donating to the poor, smiling for cameras, Adam's chest tightened. He would switch off the TV and sit in silence, fighting tears. Regret became his shadow. Loneliness became his friend. One evening, Adam received a small envelope under his door. No name. No return address. His hands shook as he opened it. Inside was a simple card. Just a few words written neatly. "I forgave you, so you can live free. But remember, choices have consequences." Adam sank to the floor, because he knew that handwriting. It was Daniela's. And as he sat there, holding the card, his chest heaving with silent sobs, Adam did not know that one final twist, one last painful test of the heart, was still waiting ahead. A moment that would force him to face the full weight of his past, and decide who he would become next. The card stayed on Adam's small table for weeks. He read it every night. "I forgave you so you can live free. But remember, choices have consequences." Those words followed him everywhere. They followed him when he woke up on the thin mattress, his back aching. They followed him when he walked the streets looking for work, and people still stared at him with judgment. They followed him when hunger made his hands shake. Adam finally understood something he never understood before. Freedom was not the same as happiness. Months passed. Adam found small jobs, car washing, sweeping shops, carrying loads in the market. He worked quietly. He did not argue. He did not complain. People still whispered, but some noticed his change. "This man is different now," a shop owner said one day. Adam only nodded. At night, he returned to his room and watched the news on his small television. Daniela and Johnson were everywhere, opening schools, helping widows, building hospitals. And every time Adam saw her smile, a sharp pain cut through his chest. Not jealousy, regret. He did not want her back anymore. He just wished he had been kind. One evening, while Adam washed cars under a hot sun, a black car stopped nearby. His heart skipped. Luxury cars made him nervous now. The door opened. A man stepped out. Tall, calm, well-dressed. Adam froze when he recognized him. Johnson, Daniela's husband. Johnson walked toward him slowly. "You are Adam," Johnson said gently. Adam dropped the sponge. "Yes," he whispered. Johnson looked around, then back at him. No anger, no pride. "I came because Daniela asked me to," Johnson said. Adam's heart pounded. Is she okay?" Johnson nodded. "She is." Adam swallowed hard. "I'm glad." Johnson studied him for a moment. "She forgave you," Johnson said. "But forgiveness doesn't erase the past, it only frees the future." Adam nodded, tears filling his eyes. "I know." Johnson reached into his pocket and brought out an envelope. "There's a small business training program we sponsor," he said. "She suggested your name." Adam's eyes widened in shock. "Why?" he asked. "After everything I did." Johnson's voice was firm but kind. "Because change should mean something," he said. "But this is not a gift. It's an opportunity. What you do with it is your choice." Adam's hands shook as he took the envelope. "Thank you," he whispered. "I won't waste it." Johnson nodded once and walked back to his car. Adam stood there, stunned. Hope, small but real, entered his heart for the first time in years. Weeks later, Adam attended the program. He listened. He learned. He stayed humble. He stopped blaming others. For the first time, he faced himself honestly. "I was cruel," he told his mentor one day, "and cruelty destroyed my life." The mentor nodded. "Owning your wrong is the first step to becoming right." 1 year later, Adam stood inside a small shop. Nothing big, nothing flashy, just clean shelves and honest work. A sign hung above the door. Adam's Repairs and Services. He smiled softly. It was not wealth, but it was dignity. That night, Adam sat in his room and turned on the television. Daniela and Johnson appeared again, this time opening a shelter for abused women. Daniela spoke calmly into the microphone. "No woman deserves violence," she said. "No one deserves to be broken by the person who claims to love them." Adam felt tears rise, but he did not look away. He nodded slowly. "You're right," he whispered. Later that night, Adam wrote a final letter. Not to beg, not to explain, just to acknowledge. "Daniela, I will never forget what I did to you. I will spend the rest of my life making sure I never become that man again. Thank you for teaching me the cost of cruelty and the power of mercy." He folded the letter and placed it in his drawer. Not to send. Some words were meant to stay as promises, not messages. Adam lay down on his thin mattress and stared at the ceiling. His life was simple, quiet, humble, and for the first time, honest. Outside, Lagos moved on fast and loud. Inside, Adam finally understood the truth. He did not lose Daniela because she became a billionaire. He lost her because he chose cruelty over kindness. And some losses, no amount of tears can undo. If you like this story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.